board.
I feel like I've got a lean.
That's your dodgy chair. There we are. Let me move over a bit. Right, let's check if we're live. Let's have a little look, Dave. You comfy now?
Yeah, mate.
You sure?
Loving it.
You sure? Let's check if we're live. Hey guys, how you doing? Andy and Dave from the Yeti Cave. We're just checking if we're live, see if anyone's joining us.
Yeah. As you can see, there's Mark Van Rossum, David Clift.
I always have to check how to.
You don't want to trust them.
I just can't trust
They
that
could
they're
be
commenting
lying to you
from the ether.
Actually, it looks like it's just Mark and Dave. And Mona, Bri.
Here we go. Brilliant. Yeah, if you join us, do give us, as always, just give us little comments. Let us know who's on. Cool. We can see there's some cranking up of the numbers.
Yeah.
Marky V, it was very nice to catch up with you yesterday. After all this time, I know you caught up with Dave before, but it was great to meet you. Great to, Marky joined us down in South Wales. He popped in for a coffee, black coffee, which he enjoys. Brilliant. But yeah, can you let us know? Can you hear us okay? We just got a little bit of a crazy setup today, but yeah, can you hear us? Obviously, I presume you can see us today. The hair is looking good, Dave. Oh,
really?
Dave, what have you done today?
Is that sarcasm?
No. I think Rebecca is definitely. I think it is. Have you put hair wax on it today, or
little bit of product?
Little bit of product.
Just because we're Yetis doesn't mean we're savages. I mean, I'll be honest, boiling in this room already.
It is quite warm in here. It is quite warm. It's the energy, see, mate, because we're building up
the energy.
What are
all these things? All three of them have to be plugged in?
Yeah, unfortunately. Sorry, mate. So that's camera, mic, and lighting.
This is sort of like Yetis in real time. Is that face you?
No. It is literally busy. So yeah, Dave.
I have this, but Andy's refusing to let me plug it in.
This is full. Right, it's clean and organised today.
Yeah.
Dave is warm in here, so if you see any water, Dave, you're gonna have to start hydrating, ready for Tucal.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, right. A bit nuts today, but yeah, thanks for joining us again. This week was, a little bit different. We were talking about, some things we're going over from the past, looking at
raking up the past.
Yeah, raking up the past, talking about some previous trips. Also, as well, we were looking at, sort of back in 2020 and some of the kind of things we talked about then. And one of them was about the journey and about certain things that, don't always go to plan, but how, from travel and things like that, when you're away, how sometimes the roads, less visited, the ones that are unplanned, tend to be the stories that actually you remember, right? So we were talking about a few things, and that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Mostly,
yeah. No, it was good. Yeah, it's about because this is the first season that has properly launched since pre-COVID.
Yeah, full season.
Yeah. We've had a couple of people that managed to squeeze out here and there, but actually a full season based on what we're used to prior. In the old days. This is the first one that feels like the old days. However, there are a lot of things that are different about travel now. We've all seen the stories in the airport about Manchester airport in particular going a bit haywire. And we recently had some weather delays over in Lukla. Luckily, we got everyone out there, but there were some flights that were affected. Not Evertrekkers, obviously. The weather god is particularly kind to us. But me and Andy got thinking about all the times and chatting about the times where things haven't pretty much gone according to plan. Yeah. But have definitely gone according to,
Yeah, the journey, isn't it?
The journey.
In terms of having a good time, enjoying yourself. I mean, just while we're on here, it's actually Rosie on the comments today. But Leah, I know that you love the QOFE, who is Lauren. I won't be able to say it, Leah.
What's QOFE?
Something Queen of Flipping England, I think, is what it means. I think flipping replaced with another word that could be said in another way. Exactly, Brian. What could possibly go wrong when you go on a little trek? Exactly.
Rebecca wasn't being sarcastic, by the way.
Oh, really? She was actually
genuinely likes the hair. It's coming back, isn't it?
I think
I've been wearing a cap now for about 3 months after the. It's not that I'm that vain. Yeah. It's just that my hair is long and unruly at the best of times.
That's what caps are for, right?
Like, yeah, and I just can't be dealing with it. I look like a homeless man.
Well, look, guys. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to trips and things, we were looking at, like Dave said, seasons happened.
Yeah.
experiencing certain things we haven't really experienced for a while, which is quite interesting. I mean, it's great to have, like, over the last 2 years, we feel like we've been talking about postponing trips and COVID and all that different stuff. And now we're like, we're talking about flight delays. We're talking about, weather, bad weather on trips, maybe journeys to Ramachap, things like this that, we actually, in a way, it's nice to talk about these things because the last 2 years we've talked about nothing but rescheduling changes and all that stuff. But it certainly brought up new conversations around it. And certainly a conversation that I prefer to have.
Yeah, no, well, we were saying the other day, because you may have been aware, if you're on the mailing list, that we sent out something about Ramachap. Now, those of you that don't know about Ramachap, normally all our flights to Lukla go from Kathmandu, but Kathmandu is the only international airport in Nepal. It's also the hub of all the domestic travel, so it has a lot of air traffic, so it's subjected to a lot of delays. Now, the Civil Aviation Authority of Nepal decided all Lukla flights will be diverted to Ramachap. So we sent everyone that email. Then they decided all flights to Lukla were going to be from Kathmandu. So then we sent that email. And then they
like to surprise us, don't they?
Yeah. Then the weather god had hang on, he hadn't had his say yet. So he got involved, or she. And caused some weather delays. So then we had to go back to Ramachap again. So we had to send out a quick message letting everyone know about that. And that was just for that one particular group. And me and Andy were sort of lamenting, like, oh God. And then we thought,
wait a
actually,
sec.
Do you know what?
Wait a sec.
We've got to check ourselves here. It's not worth complaining about. For 2 years, we've been rescheduling trips, putting people's dreams on hold.
Yeah.
Hearing day in, day out the difficulties that people are having, and to be able to talk about some minor bumps in the road in order to get people on the trip of a lifetime. How fortunate. And that's the sort of mindset that we have now, that actually we're fortunate to be able to solve problems of getting to Everest Base Camp or get into Annapurna, because we haven't had those problems, and they're ones we want, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's, like, was it probably day before yesterday? That would have been, day before yesterday, wasn't it? And we had, we are constant communication with our guys in Nepal. Nepal's like really busy right now, which is amazing. But basically, there was bad weather for a day, which meant that no flights went to Lukla, which is, it has happened before, very rarely, but has happened before. But you can imagine with more people, not just Evertrekkers, there's obviously more trekking companies out there. And it clearly that was pushed to the next day. And we always look at this flexible approach, because we're always like, especially the guys, they make these decisions on the ground, and essentially, okay, right, what does that mean for the next day? Well, the next day, okay, that's mean there's two groups of people now who want to get out. Now, usually the people who are delayed would have first dibs, because the flights get pushed. But what happens if there's bad weather again? What happens if there's delays? And because of where Ramachap is, geographically, is so close. It's quite close to Lukla. To the Sagarmatha and Everest region, it's quite close. So, with the weather delays, with air traffic, it's a lot quieter. So when you've got Kathmandu, you've got you've got international flights landing, as well as domestic flights taking off. They all use the same runway, unless you've got a chopper, which is separate part to it. But so we were like, right, okay, Ramachap, because then there's almost a guarantee then that you're going to get there, albeit it's going to be a heck of a long day. So that decision was made, and it goes back again. That was an unplanned change. That was something that we didn't want to do, but it was essentially, like anything, we want to get people to where they want to get to. And if Everest Base Camp, obviously all the in betweens, we want to keep that as well, and especially with the itinerary. But we've got to be flexible, and we just got to remind ourselves of that sometimes. And we're not sort of saying this as excuse or anything. It's just basically part of the journey, part of adventure travel. And it's certainly something that we certainly wanted to become comfortable with this, but it's all about rolling with the punches and kind of just being flexible with that. And now we're experiencing that in real time. It felt like the right time to talk about it. And if you're watching this and you might have been in Nepal recently, or you've been in Nepal before, and you certainly know the kind of the things can change at a moment's notice anywhere in the world. I mean, it doesn't have to be Nepal, but using Nepal as an example, I mean, just thinking back to a couple of our stories that it didn't quite go to plan. I mean, I'm just thinking of, do you remember the first time me and you went to base camp together?
Yeah,
And it was on the way back,
it
wasn't
was
it?
on the way back. Yeah,
And we were due.
I'm still drying out my clothes.
And it was torrential rain on the way. Dave, go on, tell us the
Yeah, so
story on the way back.
we went out to Nepal, and we went out in mid-September,
Mm.
which we,
Which was early, right?
felt a little bit early in the
Mm.
season, but still within the season. But
Yeah.
the monsoon was, it had basically lasted 2 weeks longer.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's due to climate change in one respect or another. But anyway, the result to us was quite cloudy.
Mm.
It's fine. Left Namche, warm day,
Yeah.
happy. Got to Phakting, stopped for a little bite to eat. As we left Phakting, couple of drips, it's not the end of the world. And a friend of mine who was on the trip didn't have a waterproof jacket and he wanted to put one on. So I said, I'll have mine, mate. It's not raining that bad. So I gave my waterproof jacket away. I'd say within 10 minutes, the strongest monsoon rains I have ever experienced just got unleashed. And it wasn't a storm.
Yeah.
There was no wind.
Right.
But this rain was relentless. It was like someone had a bottomless bucket of water just over your head.
It was pretty nuts.
And it got to the point where it just made the trip so difficult, like rivers. Mind you, the day before when we got to Namche, the only time I've ever seen it, all the meltwater had melted from high above.
Yeah, I've never seen
and
that
we
before.
had like little rivers in the paths and stuff.
Mm.
It was crazy. But the Lukla day was by far the worst, to the point where I got so soaked that I walked into a shop and I asked the guy if he had an umbrella. He said he didn't. He didn't have one. I suspected he did, so I pulled out something like 5,000 rupees and was like, "Please, man, I just need an umbrella. I need a break." And then the next thing you know, he came back with an umbrella that I suspect was his. It was a little bit dusty, wasn't new. Don't care.
He certainly found one.
Best $5,000 I've ever spent. And I got some stick for it. Yeah, certainly, because I was walking back. But
Not for me, Dave. Not for me.
No, yeah. But then my dad, who was following behind me, at this point we were a little bit apart. Said it was like following, like it was like the world's worst city tour, following this guy with an umbrella. And what would happen is I'd stop, wait for him to just about catch up, and then I'd move off again, just to keep it moving. And I think it had the opposite effect. But yeah, that was. And then we got to Lukla.
Yeah.
Walked into the shower with my clothes on, turned the shower on, no water. And
that's right, they didn't, did they?
No,
no solar power because it'd been so cloudy.
Couldn't go out. There was no heating in the thing. But I tell you what, they did have. They had a fully functioning bar.
They had plenty of beer.
Yeah. So we decided, you know what? We may be stuck here.
Yeah.
We don't know if we're going to be able to get a flight back to Kathmandu tomorrow, but that's tomorrow's problem. Today, we're going to celebrate what we've achieved. We're going to let loose. We're going to have some fun. And I've got some amazing videos that unfortunately I'm not strictly certain of for public consumption. But if you ever meet me, ask me and I might show you them.
I'm not too sure. I'm sure you've
shared some. It's got you doing the work.
That's fine. I can live. I can live with that.
And
we all like to dance around.
Yeah, and that is an example of sort of rolling with the punches where, it would have been easy to been let down by that day because it was miserable.
Yeah, it's hard when things don't quite go to plan because in your mind you've got to. You can't if you're someone that likes a plan, I mean, we're all different, right? Some people kind of go with the flow a bit more. Some people like to know what's happening, and I know, I've got friends who are quite they like to know every single detail. And if there's anything different, they say, okay, what's that? Why is that different? And I respect that. Certainly, I think when it comes to travel, anything that changes, it certainly kind of goes, oh, okay, right, all right, well, okay, that's happening. So yeah, you kind of do have to roll with it a little bit, but certainly when it comes to these type of flights and things, it was certainly that next day because there were still no flights going out. We were up really early. We kind of speaking to the team in Kathmandu to try and work out because we had flights the next day. How do we get back? So luckily we were able to get some helicopters. To kind of definitely to come back. So yeah, it was certainly something that was a bit nuts, but yeah, quite important to talk about, I think. And yeah, when it comes to, it'd be interesting. I mean, obviously, I know some of you have been on trips with us before or other trips. It'd be interesting to sort of hear your stories actually about maybe the bumps in the road that you've been, and share them in the comments because it's always interesting for us to hear You know, I can already imagine what Bry's typing when he got stuck in Nepal for 10 days in Kathmandu.
He found a fully functioning bar as well, I think, if I remember
always,
right.
yeah, it's clearly a common theme.
Yeah, Brian can hear beer. Yeah, like if you blindfolded him, he could hear it.
You probably could.
And also, Leah says that me with an umbrella makes you think of my neighbor Totoro.
Okay,
it's like a yeah, like a Studio Ghibli sort of anime, you know.
Leah, I think you are like right.
A giant rabbit or something.
I think that is a great example of Dave. But yeah. Comment with your stories, guys. It'd be interesting to hear how, you know, anything that didn't go quite right, but it actually worked out okay. Comment with something in the comments. Also, as well, because we've had a few questions come in, a little bit lighter than normal on the questions. So do drop your questions in around anything at all. You know, that's what we're here for, as well. Just to, you know, anything that's kind of on your mind that you want us to sort of talk about, and we've got a couple already. You know, some people are due to leave in the next couple of weeks. We got I think some groups arriving this Saturday and next Wednesday. So we got quite a lot of things that come up, but we're off to Toucan, aren't we?
Yeah,
we're going to Morocco Thursday morning. So yeah, quite excited. Quite looking forward to it. This has been rescheduled for us. So similar to you guys, you know, we were planning this a long time ago. Finally able to get out there. We've had lots of groups go out there already. But for us personally, it's actually really good to get out there. I'm looking forward to it, Dave.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. Yeah, it's really good. It's the first proper sort of trekking trip done since Kilimanjaro, really. In
crazy,
February, it wasn't February 2020, was it?
It was. Wow. I know.
That's
over 2 years ago.
That's fascinating. But really looking forward to it. It's been we've been wanting to get out to Morocco and kind of meet with the team out there and head up to the Atlas Mountains for, God, it's well over a year now that this trip's been postponed. I dread to think how many that we've actually set up and then had to move. But again, that's all part of rolling with the punches. The world is different now to how it was when we first started doing this sort of thing and we first started traveling.
Yeah.
Adventure travel has always been one of those things where things don't ever quite go right or not as expected. And that's where the adventure side of it comes from. You know, it's honestly part of the adventure that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
It is the uncertainty, the not knowing exactly what's going to happen and what you're going to see day to day. There is an element of these trips not being, you know, there's an element of danger involved. You know, like
managed. Was it managed danger?
Managed danger, yeah.
Managed danger.
Yeah, and it honestly, it really does make it for me. And I think, all the little bumps in the road, and if you've been to Ramachap, there's a few of them. You know, do make it worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely. Just some questions coming through. I think Jane's asking around Machu Picchu, around best time of year. It's a good question, Jane. We're actually running some trips. We got one of our first trips actually in a couple of weeks. So April and May are really good times to go. You've also got kind of later in the year, so you've got the summer months. So it kind of falls in line with, even though it's southern hemisphere, it's kind of they do get a bit of a wet season. But yeah, going around August, September time is a really good time to go. You know, it does get a little bit colder, but you know, because you're not, even though you go into Machu Picchu in Cusco, which is just over 3,000 meters, and you're going over a new high pass, so Tocto Pass, which is 4,900 meters. It's not as I'd say glacial as say going to say Everest Base Camp or K2 Base Camp or things like that. In terms of the terrain, it's a lot different to kind of what you'd be used to. But you know, it's very rich and lush and green. You know, if you've seen any pictures of Machu Picchu, and you can see Huayna Picchu, which is just behind, which is the one that we you know, we have the option to go up and summit. You know, to get a different perspective on Machu Picchu. It's certainly lush, and you know, you'll find your epicness. You'll be walking, especially on the first couple of days. To your left will be what they call Mount Salcante. So it's just over 6,000 meters, and that is, you can imagine, like a very Andean, you know, white ice, you know, rock. It's we got a namaste from Namche from Andrew. Hey Andrew, how you doing, mate? At altitude. Glad you guys got Wi-Fi in Namche. Do enjoy. But yeah, I'd say anything else about Machu Picchu? I mean, I just can't wait to.
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, it doesn't have much of a rainy season, so you know, you can go sort of. It matches up kind of with our summertime. May is also a pretty decent time to go.
May's good. Yeah.
We got some people going out in April as well, so there's loads and loads of opportunity. And actually, it works really well because you can often do it around sort of the Easter time. our summertime. It makes it a little bit easier with regards to travel. But yeah, Machu Picchu is pretty good. There's not much of a
No, winter's not too good, is it? Our winter. I mean, we don't have any dates like from October through to March. For that reason, just because the weather's not the best. So generally, if in terms of if you look at like on our website, and you look at the dates, they're kind of, we've chosen those dates with the weather windows in mind. So if you go in on those dates, there shouldn't really be any issues.
But awesome! I'm really excited. Machu Picchu's kicking off as well. We had one trip. A great guy went out to Stuart.
Stuart Hammond,
went out to Ecuador. Did the Summits of Fire, and he's actually going back.
He smashed it. He's
all right.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna get him on, aren't we, and have a chat with him.
Yeah, we've reached out to him. Hopefully, he can join us because I'd be interested to hear.
We got to get him out, even if we got to go to him. He's a great guy. But yeah, no, and we heard that there was a big snow dump as well recently, isn't there? So that's going to be great.
Snowing today as well. Yeah, so, yeah, we get the crampons out and the ice axe.
Awesome. Quite good. We've had an email. I can't actually believe this one, and if you read that email,
I almost thought like you sent this in, Dave.
Honestly, yeah, I know. This is from Gemma, who sent an email in. Who's currently on antibiotics for a sinus infection, and finished the course on Friday when she flies. Hoping all will be okay before the start of the trek on the Monday. Hopefully, will the altitude affect her with that? Currently, no pain in the face for the blocked nose. Well, but funnily enough, Gemma,
I was going to say,
I currently have a sinus infection, and I got picked up my antibiotics today. So I'm going to be on antibiotics as I go out to Toubkal. Not a ideal set of circumstances, but honestly, I don't think if you finished your course on Friday, you arrive on Saturday, you've got the day tour on Sunday, you're heading up on Monday, that's going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And remember that, just be wary, if your nose is blocked or anything. Mine is not too blocked, but I feel like I've got like a lot of pain behind my eyes. But you should be absolutely fine. And remember, just go slow. You are getting over a sinus infection, so it's not something you're going to want to sort of push yourself with. But that's the beauty of these trips. You're going to take it easy. There's plenty of time to acclimatize and to warm up, to go into altitude. So you should be absolutely fine with that. Our guys over there as well are really, really well trained. So perhaps you could just let them know that you are just getting over a bit of a sinus infection, so they can just look out for you, check your blood oxygen levels, make sure that everything's okay. But honestly, yeah, full steam ahead. You're going to have an awesome trip.
I'm just reading some of the stories coming in. Yeah, I love that. Annapurna Base Camp has many steps. We had downpours of rain. I was like walking up a river. We had to crawl up, not slip over. It was quite good fun. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's.
And I think it was Liam as well. I love that. Got stuck in Cairo after airport. 2 million people turned up. Wow! After they won the was it the African Cup of Nations? But yeah, then you went on a day tour. I love stuff like that. Yeah, on the pyramids. I bet that was awesome, Liam. Mate, let us know when you're around Europe. We'd love to see you.
Do you know what I love? Right. See Andrew Corran there in Namche. I remember sending his details over,
and now he's
getting his flight,
and
now he's there. Honestly, it really does mean a lot when I see some of the guys over there, because it really does help, to see people actually living their dreams again after such a long break.
Big time.
So yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah, nice, Andrew. I hope you're all well, mate. Let us know what's the weather like out there. You got any pictures? Yeah, post some in the comments if you can. It'd be good to see how things are. Yeah, definitely keep us updated, mate. But yeah, just a few questions. I love Chris Ray. Where do you wee on the way to EBC? Plenty of places, mate. Plenty of places. Yeah. There are a lot of toilets in. If you stop in for rest break, there are toilets that you can stop in, especially if you're going through some of the villages like Monjo. The first couple of days, or Fakding, and then further up, then you get the little villages in between the bigger villages. You got like Pangboche, you got Tengboche, Dingboche, Lobuche, a lot of Che's. So you've got a lot of places, but literally, if you've got to go, mate, you've got to go. You just find somewhere. Obviously, if you do have any tissues or any sanitary products, do sort of bag those up. That'd be great. But honestly, mate, if you need a wee, there's plenty of places.
That's the unglamorous side to trekking. That
I know.
Is the bagging up, because it is horrible when you go to the toilet. You have what they call in Tanzania, use the bush toilet. You go for a bush wee, and you see the paraphernalia that people leave after they go to the toilet. But honestly, you won't find it a problem at all. There's loads of places to have a wee. Particularly if there's any females as well that need like an even more secluded spot, ask your guide and stuff like that, and they can even sort of stand guard a little bit away to make sure that no one kind of walks in. So you've got a bit of privacy. So the guys are really conscientious when you're out there. And
definitely lean on your guide. Not literally lean on your guide as you go into the week.
Yeah,
find a little bit of privacy. But yeah, definitely ask them, and they'll tell you the secret spots. They know what they're doing. John Newman, apologies, repeated question. No worries, mate. This is why we're here, to answer these questions, even if they're ones we've answered before. Is it safer to book flight back one day after EVC trek date? Yeah, so I mean, normally, because we've had this question actually last couple of days, and some people are thinking about when to book flights. I think there was a question in the about arrival dates, departure dates. When do I book my flights? What day do I book my flights? So just obviously for clarity, then, so your arrival day is day 1. So that is like literally you can arrive. That's where you need your flight to arrive. So say you're booking on, I don't know, what are we looking at, April here. Say it was the 21st of April, for instance. So that would be your day 1, and then departure day would be obviously day 15. So sort of work out the dates then, and day 15 would be a departure day. So those are within what you book. That's kind of the time when you book your flights. But then 100%. When it comes to booking after that, we're really flexible. If you want to do some add-ons like Chitwan, which some people want to go down there and do some safari and just chill out for a few days, or you want to just chill, get a massage, buy some souvenirs in Kathmandu. Because it's there as a buffer day as well. I mean, we always say it just because it's one extra night in the hotel. It's a lovely hotel aloft. Kathmandu, you've got heaps of time. You're never going to get bored there. And if there's any weather delays, it is a buffer. Now, obviously, we appreciate it's not in the package, but there's no harm in it. John, if you've got the time, 100% go for it. I usually leave a day or so just to kind of catch up with people, and it's always nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I always have an extra day.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do is just because when you're following the itinerary from the beginning to the end of the trip, you're on a kind of schedule, and you've got to go from A to B. When you come back, it's really nice to be on your own time. Wake up when you want to wake up, whether that's early or late. Head out into Kathmandu and do your own steam and just follow your nose, basically. My nose always leads me to the same place, which is the cafe in Boudhanath.
That is quite good. Yeah, Himalayan Java, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah, you just sit there with a nice coffee. They do really nice food, and you can look over Buddha Stupa and just enjoy the crowd and people watch. And great place to get souvenirs and then we're just going to chill out and have a really nice time. And it's just nice. It's sort of good to say goodbye to Kathmandu in your own way. So it's a really good idea.
Yeah, nice. Good questions though, guys. Keep them coming. For Kim. So one thing that worries me most, not the altitude, not the actual climb, it's the pooing emoji.
Yeah,
I know. It's funny, isn't it? I knew I'd put it in the subject. We'll start talking about toilets. It always happens.
I'm only ever like 1 or 2 sentences away from it. Honestly, Kim, you'll learn to love it. I call it having a wildie, and it's something I look forward to. Most of my best ideas come to me having a wildie.
It's I mean, there are toilets available if you if you are really in a remote region of your trek, maybe I know I've seen this happen before. People have dodgy bellies. It happens. I've had it. Dave's had it. Again, we're talking about rolling with the punches. Certainly, when you've got some dodgy belly, if you've got any Imodium or something, it's handy to have in your pack. But there are plenty of hiding spots. If you got to go, you got to go, mate. Yeah, it is a bit. Thinking about it is a bit like, can I do it? But again, that's part of the adventure.
You'd be surprised how quickly you can find a spot when you need to. You will also be surprised what you are willing to accept as a possible toilet spot when you need to. But one person that's emailed in is John from Brecon, who's asked a question which I was hoping would come up because it's come up a couple of times recently. Which is he's asked about the what is the baggage allowance on a flight to Lukla, and does this include your day pack and your duffel bag?
Has this been asked before? No, we're joking.
Baggage allowance, Lukla? It may have come up.
No, good question.
So the bag allowance, which would be your duffel bag and everything in it, and your day pack. Put them both together. They go on the scales at the airport, and what the magic number we're looking for is 15 kgs or less. Now, a lot of people hear that and they panic because, oh my God, 15 kgs, it's not a lot in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
The first thing I'll say is, honestly, it can be done.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of trekkers have proven that 15 kilos is enough to get you successfully up to Everest Base Camp and back down, and even the 3 passes or an island peak trip. However, there is a little bit of allowance, one way or the other. So if you rock up and you really try desperately hard and you're about 12.5 kilos, 17 kilos or a couple of kilos overweight, it's not the end of the world. The most important thing that you need to remember, though, is that do whatever you can to keep it at 15, because if your bag's a few kilos over and everyone else's is like half a kilo over, they'll take the heaviest bag off if the plane's overweight. What that means is that you'll fly to Lukla, your bag hangs back at the airport for a while, grabs a coffee or two, and then joins you on the next flight, but it doesn't avoid the panic when you arrive. So just to avoid that panic, try and keep it to 15 kilos. Now, they obviously weigh your bags, they don't weigh you. And, they do account for that, They know that they're not going to weigh every individual person on the plane. They know that weight varies when it comes to the individual, so they do account for that. And the way they account for that is by having this 15 kilo limit. But what it does mean is that empty all the water out your bladder, put your heavy boots on, have your DSLR around your neck, put your Haribos in your pockets, battery packs, the anchors.
Battery pack, is it?
Battery pack. I could have gone worse, mate.
I was going to say, glad you can use W's there.
Yeah, exactly. Put them in your pockets. So, you might be a few kilos heavier than you usually are, but your bag's a few kilos lighter. Yeah. That is more than enough to do it. There was a mention that there was a challenge set for me, and
I know, Dave,
which I accepted.
I did notice,
which is to film packing a bag, and
we're gonna have to do this.
Yeah, I will have to do it. Like I said, we do plan these subjects in a while, so we'll have to try and factor it into the next one. But the other thing is that my bag is currently being packed for Toopcal, and I am not going to pack it for EBC. Unpack it, pack it for Toopcal. But yeah,
we'll do it in a few weeks. I think.
Challenge accepted. I think
we'll do it. We'll just do it in the group. It probably might be on a Tuesday tune in, but because we got our big, just what we're talking about, planning and things like that. Next week is actually our 100th Tuesday tune in, which is pretty nuts. Yeah, 100th since we did it. We started in March 22.
That's going to be over 100 hours.
I know. It is over
imagine that.
Chatting.
Imagine if I spent that time in the gym.
Imagine. Yeah. But luckily, we're exercising a different thing. But honestly, it's been a pleasure. The last, this is our 99th episode. It is amazing. How far, and I hope it's still valuable for everyone here, because we try and mix it up. We try and change it. Like next week, we're actually doing the live all the way from Marrakesh.
Yep.
So the hotel in Marrakesh, or the Riyadh in Marrakesh, we're going to try and hook up some good signal, and we'll be coming to you from Morocco. So next week's going to be a biggie. So do look out for that. But sorry, Dave. Yeah, I felt like I was interrupting your flow with the bag stuff. Hashtag Baggate.
Were we talking about bags?
Were we talking?
Oh yeah,
I love that.
I love Baggate. Baggate was
Jane, that's brilliant.
It's amazing. Like overall, 99.9%, the high altitude Ever Trekkers group is such a fantastic place.
Yeah.
But it does amuse me when Baggate happens or something like that happens. But
that's these questions though, and I always think, this is why we do it, because we can talk openly about it, and there's no bad or nasty question or anything like that. It's at the end of the day, if someone is wanting to learn about certain things and wanting to, get it right, then, that's why we're here, to answer these questions and talk about it. And, as Dave said, then, you've got 15 kgs. Don't think like, this certainly isn't a rule we've put in. It's just, unfortunately, the airlines have created, but there's ways to get around it. There's ways to, we have done over the last 6 years, we have found ways to get around it a little bit. Like when I go, the stuff I need. If it has to come on the next flight, I'll wait for it. If there's things I need to take, like camera gear or things like that, it's going to be more than 15 kgs. I can live with that. And then we can sort it out when we get to Lukla. But again, we go with rolling with the punches. I think hashtag Baggate. We're going to remember that one now. Certainly that would come under the rolling with the punches thing, and just understanding that these are the kind of things that you have to deal with. And certain countries, they have their own rules. It's certainly something that we've always hopefully tried to communicate as well as we can. So we hope it's a little bit useful. And we know there's a lot of information around everywhere. That some things it's one thing, sometimes you read others, and so we're hoping bring a little bit of clarity. But hopefully that has done that for you today.
Yeah.
But Shona actually is on here as well, and Shona I think actually measured our bags because someone asked how heavy is the Evertrek bag.
Yeah, so someone's asked that, and usually, like, do you
Was
know
it
what?
1.3 kilos, I believe it is. She measured before.
I think what we might have to do is have a little segment of the show
just
called
for Shona.
like Shona's. We can call it like Shona's Corner or something, where it's like,
Hey, there it is, 1.3. I got it right, Shona.
Do you know what weirdly, this is going to be like a bit of a tenuous connection, but do you know what it reminds me of? Did you ever used to watch the show called Games Master?
I did actually.
When there was a bit where there was a bit
Patrick Moore.
Patrick Moore would do like questions for people. They would do this little segue. I think he was like a floating head Games Master, and they used to ask him. That's like Shona. That's like Shona's Corner. And when anyone asks me how many lumens should my head torch be, generally been asked that. How heavy is a sleeping bag? How wide is a duffel bag? That's like, I've almost stopped recording that information because I know she's done it. But Shona, awesome.
Shona's a wealth of knowledge.
Well, whenever we meet Shona again, I will. I'll buy her a drink.
We owe a few.
I owe her about 10 pints for being Sinead for the first year.
That's true.
But honestly, she must have been grinding her teeth. But
she's finally arrived onto today's anyway.
Did have another question from Kim Williams. She's seen a couple of people say that they need 2 pairs of boots. Do you need to have 2 pairs of boots? If you're just doing a trek like Everest Base Camp, then no, you only need 1 pair of boots. So generally, what I'll bring is a pair of boots and then something like casual to wear. Honestly, I'm a fan of Crocs and socks.
I know you're comfortable in that. I got my flip flops or thongs, as Leah.
All days are Crocs and socks.
Nice.
Don't care. And but so literally I'll bring sliders or Crocs and a pair of boots, and that's pretty much all I'll bring with me. If you're doing something like Island Peak, some people do choose to bring 2 pairs of boots because you need a pair that's comfortable to hike in, and you need a pair that's going to be crampon compatible. Some people are perfectly happy trekking in a B2 boot. Other people less so. If you're not, then obviously you're going to have to factor in a few kilos of weight just for those extra pair of boots in your bag.
I've never really taken 2. I've taken like shoes for hanging around or flip flops like you have, Dave, but I've only ever taken 1 boot. Like as Dave said, there's if you climb an Island Peak and you need your mountain boots for that, or you can hire them locally. But as Dave said, you can just wear them anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly. I know a lot of people that trek in B2 crampon compatible boots. The only thing I will say is if you are planning on doing that, wear them in. You sure, Dave? Yeah, I wouldn't just do like a whole marathon over mountains in them, right? Yeah, but I'm an idiot. These people are sensible. Do wear them in. I didn't. I bought a pair of B2s. I love them, and I'd signed up to the Great Glencoe Challenge, 26.2 miles. It's not. It's more like 25. Sorry, Danny Mitchell has joined. Danny, hope you're well. Just climbed Killy with us. Probably must have been like 3 weeks ago now, Danny. But loved your pictures, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Great to see you on the summit. Hope you had a good time. Let us know. Drop some comments. Let us know how it was. I heard it was. Look at the conditions were gorgeous. I got to be honest. You had some great conditions. I bet it was windy though. Let us know how it was, mate. Hope all is well. Sorry, awesome. Bootgate. That's all right. Yeah, Bootgate. Yeah. But no, you only need 1 pair of boots for trekking. Definitely. Unless you're gonna, climb a mountain. Unless you may need to. Yeah, definitely. Just going through, Dave, just around some because I know we've got a few more questions. Guys, do comment with some questions if you do have any around anything at all. Mona has said that she's only missed 4 out of 99 tune-in That's Tuesdays. Impressive. I think Marky V was very similar. He said is that a record? That's probably a record. I'd be. Has anyone actually seen or listened to all of the 99 episodes? Put your hands up if you have. Do comment. Let us know. Yeah, you have. I know. I haven't even been here the whole 100. Actually, no, I've missed. Yeah, you have actually. I've missed. But did you watch or listen to it? I watched it. Yeah, of course I watched it. I missed only 1 that I haven't been part of. Of course, Shona's done. She's watched that one. Well, of course, brilliant. Shona's Corner. Oh, I've had a message off Leah. What could she possibly have asked me, do you reckon? Who would win in a fight between a wallaby and a koala? No, it's about the knee.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, so the knee is, nah. It's okay. I mean, it's still crack. I wonder if they can hear it. Shall I see if I can get an audible?
Don't risk it, but
Yeah,
biscuit,
here we go.
for it.
Here we go.
See if
So
you can.
I'm gonna put the mic next to the knee and see if we can get a good sound so we can ready, listen to this.
Oh, can you actually hear that?
Yeah,
that is
oh, I wonder if you can hear my knee. Yeah,
that's your new party trick now, mate.
That's my new party trick. I'll be honest, it's a terrible party trick. I wonder if everyone couldn't hear it, or if they could hear it and they're like, no, that's horrible. But yeah, no, that's just my knee. No need for a second op, thankfully.
Who's missed? Oh, here we go. Shona's actually caught them all. I think a lot of you, you've watched them. Yeah, Mona's watched them live. 95 Live 4 on catch up. Amazing. Fair dues, guys. Fair dues.
Yeah.
I think Shona and is what pretty much watched them all. Good questions actually. It's becoming part of my Tuesday routine. Listening to you guys. Charlotte, glad that it's been a little bit useful. I say we do like to kind of natter on a little bit, and Bry as well. He's only missed one. Perfect, mate. Perfect. Jerome. I know Jerome put the question in. Yeah, we commented a little bit earlier. 1.3 kilos, mate. Heard that live yesterday.
Oh yeah, I gave Mark a demonstration. It's because it changes week on week.
It does.
At the moment, it's a cracking knee. But no, don't need another op though, thank God. So that's okay.
Yeah, thank God. Exactly.
I just gotta live with it, eh?
Well done. Jackie has asked, do we take our passport on the trek or can we leave it for safekeeping? Yeah. So sorry, Jackie, remind me which trek you're going on, mate, just so we can chat about it. It's a little bit different depending on where you're going. In Nepal, I mean, you can leave at a hotel, but to be honest, because it'll go in your bag that you leave there, or your suitcase, wherever you bring, it's worth taking it with you. Even just you don't have to if you can find somewhere that you can keep it. Definitely ask at a hotel aloft. I know that in Springlands in Tanzania, they do have key boxes that you can hire or use, and you can lock them. You can keep all of your because there's no like shops or anything on the mountain. Just a bit of advice on even though there's no shops on Kilimanjaro, on the way back you do pass some souvenir shops. So if you do want to get some souvenirs, it's a good one as well, wasn't it?
It's not the cheapest one. They've got prime spot.
They've got very prime spot. That's why the prices are
there was some amazing stuff in there that I was hoping I'd buy.
That's mad. EBC. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'd to be honest, Jackie, I could probably take it with you. Just in your bag, just so you've got it. I always take mine. It's definitely. I definitely recommend that.
Yeah, I take mine with me as well. Yeah. Steph Limbley has asked another name I recognise. She's going soon. It's great. Should you buy a SIM card when you get there? To be honest, I've never normally done it. You can get pretty good data packages now.
Yeah.
And when you're not wanting to use your data, there's pretty much Wi-Fi in most free cafes, restaurants. In the hotels. Then when you're on the trip itself, so when you're actually trekking, for the first sort of up to Namche, each lodge has its own Wi-Fi, and you can pay, I'm not sure how many rupees, maybe 400-500 rupees to gain access to that. When you get to Namche, go to a telecommunication shop. I actually found one earlier. I'm going to use it as a demonstration.
What's that?
My card.
Really?
Yeah. I found my
Wow, that's been there a while.
Yeah, it's been there since 20 something or other. So there it is.
Wow, Everest Link.
Yeah,
that looks old.
Yeah, it is pretty old. Yeah. So when you get to Namche, you can go into a shop. Now these are the scratch cards that you can buy.
Nice.
And then
3,000.
Yeah, you open it up and you scratch the back off, and that gives you a username and a password.
Nice.
And it'll last for however much data is on this. These are the ones that they sell in each lodge, and they might not sell you much data at all. It might be like 100 megabytes or something, enough to send a message. This one is 20 gig, which is more than enough to last the entire trip.
Yeah.
And it'll work in every lodge that has Everest Link, which is pretty much every lodge above Namche. So yeah, that's the one that I bought, and it was 3,000 for 20 gigabytes.
Nice.
And I had more to spare. I just seen Paul's posted there as well, 2,500 for 10. So I paid the extra 5 and got an extra But yeah, that's what I recommend doing.
Nice.
And I've even used like WhatsApp and Facebook to make calls back home as well. Yeah, and just be careful who you tell you've got that, by the way, because it's like vultures coming to your data.
Andrew just said he just saw a moth. Was it real? Coming out your wallet? Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, you are right. There was we had to literally shoot them out of the room.
Like it creaks.
Yeah, I say Paul mentions 2,500 rupees for 10. It does change from time to time.
Yeah.
And I know that if I remember right, there were certain places I was like, how did you get that so cheap? Because there was certain ones that had different deals.
Yeah, I suppose
so it does range.
Yeah, I suppose it's not like you're buying from Vodafone. They are local stores, so they will charge what they charge.
They have their own rules.
I'll be honest, either way, it's going to be cheaper than buying it in each individual lodge.
Yeah. I'm just reasoning that if you ask this question again, you'll be pelted with rocks.
Who's that?
I think I talking about
is this Jerome the rock carrier? Do you know
Jerome likes to carry rocks.
It reminded me of a funny story when I last went to Everest Base Camp with John, the Great Bald Yeti.
Yeah.
So we'd sit down, and whenever we sit for lunch, and I started this, I think, on the acclimatization day at Namche, he'd stop for lunch or something, and I'd slip a rock into his rucksack.
Cruel.
And every time we'd stop for lunch, I was like adding another rock and stuff like that. And one day, I think we were Douglas Pass.
Okay, yeah.
And he was like, he sort of sat down. He was like, "Oh my god, my pack feels heavy today." And they're like, okay. And then he went through it, found like this handful of rocks. And then all you can hear was like, "Dave, you beep! It's Friday, beep! Dave, you have beep!" like a load of yeah.
I wish I would have caught that on camera.
It was
poor John.
One of my best pranks.
So just for clarity, John is the Great Bald Yeti.
The Great Bald Yeti. Yeah.
He's very good friends with Dave, and they both prank each other.
Yeah,
so they're both bad as each other.
Yeah, I mean, normally I wouldn't make someone's journey at altitude any harder,
I
will make an exception for John.
Well, he's good at altitude though. He's really good. I heard he wants to do Killy next.
Booked on, yeah.
He's booked on. Nice.
Yeah, he's booked on, yeah. The
good.
thing is, he never comes with me the first time I do things. I always have to go back again. So when I went to base camp, you come in, John. Yeah. Nah, you go. So I go. When I come back and show him pictures, I want to go. Then I go again, and then I went again with him.
I say you've been a couple of times with John now, haven't you?
Yeah.
Danny mentioned as well. But just going back to the SIM card stuff. Yeah, good point. So Vodacom SIM, which worked well. Yeah, it's good actually. Because I'm with Vodafone. And when I was out in Tanzania, they do get good signal. If you've got, I think is it Roam Further or something like that with Vodafone?
£5 a day.
Yeah, it's £5 a day, and you can use certain amount of data, certain amount of course. It does change. There's definitely options, but yeah, Danny, I think you're right. Did you what was the signal like on the mountain when you were out there? I know that we
couldn't get any
the first 4 days if we had none. But did the local SIM improve that? Yeah, it'd be good to know.
Another little tip as well, which Yessi, our guide, gave me, is that after the first 4 days on the Lamosha, we had no signal.
Okay.
The second 4 days we did have signal, but it was patchy. He told me to go into the carrier settings and switch it from 4G or 5G down to like 3G or 2G.
Interesting.
And apparently, as soon as I did that, I picked up a signal and I was able to make a call and send a text message. Apparently, if it's constantly searching for a network that has 4G, it will be patchy and it will come and go.
That's a very good point.
And yeah, it 100% worked for me. So a little top tip there with when you're on Kilimanjaro is dial it down a lot.
Interesting. Yeah. I think Danny, I believe your guide was Yessi. Yeah, he was our guide. He's a great guy.
Yessi. So that means Danny is strong
heart.
Mind.
Was it strong? Is it strong heart, strong mind, or strong mind?
I forget the order.
And I do.
Okay.
Danny, remind us.
Yeah, strong. I think it's strong mind, strong heart.
Yeah.
Don't think it, just dream it.
Power to the people.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, he is an absolute legend.
He is a great
I think
guy.
he's well, it was 400 summits, I think, when we did it.
Yeah, he's certainly, he's one of our most experienced guides. There we go. Even Spud's on it, like strong heart, strong mind.
Spud, I hope Spud's doing all right. He's looking a little bit worse for wear lately. And he's going on a trip to Tupkal soon as well. I saw a picture of him lately. He looked rough as a badger.
Well done, Spud. I hope you're well, mate. I hope you're well. Can't wait to see you tomorrow evening.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing the boys.
Looking forward to catching up with our some of our friends. Got it tattooed on my leg. There we go. So we hope it's the right way around.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? I think it might have changed it once or twice. I think it's the message that counts, isn't it?
It's exactly. Yeah, I've always had it: strong heart, strong mind. But the power, definitely the thought behind it is that you can do. Yeah, I think yes, he's like you can do anything that you want to do with the right focus, with the right mind, with the right heart.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love that. It's
you
you always get these little, like, some of the guides have their own kind of sayings, and they're big personalities. Yeah, here we go. Danny, local sim worked the most. I was able to use WhatsApp to call home. Yes, he was great. Strong mind, strong heart. Whoa. Might have to replace the tattoo there, Spud. No, great stuff, great stuff. Well, yeah. Any more questions, guys? Do drop them in. Anything around? I mean, just while waiting for some more questions, we did.
Do you think I could get 3 bottles of Coke?
I think you could
Am
get.
I allowed to do that?
Yeah, you can do that. Sorry, I thought I was going to say that. That's right.
Main 11%.
Training weekends. I know. I'm still trying to.
Sorry,
no, training weekends that we've got. We're actually filling up for the one in August, on 12th of August. Anyone that does want to join us on that, we've got basically, I think it's £295 up until the end of April. So yeah, if you do want to join us, we are having to increase some of our costs price for the training weekend after this month. So yeah, if you want to join us in August, get booked in, guys. It'd be great to see you. I know a lot of the Evertrekkers on here, Danny included, who's just summited. Obviously Mona as well. A lot of our Evertrekkers, especially our long-term Evertrekkers, have been on the training weekends, and we've also got, it's pretty special this one actually. We got Steve from Aim Higher. He's coming down with us to run the weekend with us, so we can change up a little bit. He's a really top bloke, great mountain guide, very experienced, and he's going to be running it with us because we're kind of expanding what we're doing. So yeah, definitely get on board. It's really handy if you go in, Everest Base Camp, Kili, Machu Picchu, even if you're climbing any of the like trekking peaks like Mara Peak, Island Peak. It's a good laugh, and we have a good time. There's a serious element to it because we're tracking, we're learning about certain things, but also as well, it's nice just to hang out with other Evertrekkers.
Yeah.
We get to know you a bit more. Think of this Tuesday tune-in that's over a weekend with hiking and a couple of beers involved, and that's pretty much it. It's we do get to go to a really nice Nepalese restaurant in the Brecon Beacons, which is always one of our favorites.
One of our favorites, yeah, one of the highlights of the trip.
Yeah, run by a very, very nice man, an ex-Gurkha. That's what it's called, the Gurkha Inn, isn't it?
Gurkha Inn, yeah.
Great place that we like to stay. So yeah, just Rosie's on the comments. If you could put the link to the training weekend, that would be awesome. Just bring the WD-40 for the Wales training weekend. Yeah, nicely done, Mona. Nicely done. But no, we're really excited. We can't wait to run those. That's what we're doing. We want to get that one up and running. We might then run another one, depending on circumstances. But yeah, definitely get yourself on the training weekend.
Yep.
Nice.
Awesome. No, it'd be amazing. I love to meet people as well. It's great, especially when we had a little bit of a build up. If they've been on the tune-ins, yeah. Brian came in like a whirlwind out of nowhere.
He likes to strip off and take photos almost naked next to Evertrek vehicles.
He met his kindred spirit in John. I remember those guys were running back.
Yeah.
So they did a little run down the thing, and no, honestly, it's great fun. I really enjoy it. A lot of you guys I've met over there, really enjoyed it as well. And we do lots of things. We'll talk about equipment you need for base camp.
Yeah.
Usually I'll pack a bag. Like I was going for base camp for the weekend, open it up in a room, everyone can get involved, pull things out. I probably lose about 2 base layers every time I do it. I'm joking. But yeah, no, and it'd be great.
Yeah, no, nice. Well, look, guys, I hope it's been useful today. I know we're talking about something a little bit different, when it comes to rolling with the punches and things that don't go right, but actually they create other stories. Something that certainly I've learned, from my backpacking days when I was, when I was a youngster, and it's certainly, all the times where it doesn't quite go right, they are the memories that kind of stay with you. Now, obviously, we want your trip to go right, but if anything does happen, if you do go on that wonderful trip to Ramachat, if there is some delays, if there are, if you kilo over on the bag, whatever happens, guys, we're on your side, we're with you. We've got a great team. Whatever you're going with us, you're well looked after. So they will be helping you through those experiences. But yeah, I think I hope that just talking about a couple of stories today has made it kind of almost giving you maybe a bit of confidence that whatever happens, you're going to have an awesome time. It's just like here in the UK, isn't it? When you go on a trek, when you go on a hike, it could be wet, you could get a little bit lost. Obviously, within reason. You like Jerome, you could be sliding down a hill, you could be picking up rocks. Whatever happens though, it creates memories, it creates a story, even when it doesn't quite go to plan.
Jerome reminds me of Andy Dufresne from the Shawshank Redemption. When he's like, I reckon if he ever visits the office, he's going to leave little deposits of like rocks about.
That's hilarious, brilliant. Well, Dave, any final thoughts from you, mate?
No, that's it. I think really excited to see some of you going out on your trips as soon as you can. Yeah. I know a few of you on the live are going out within the next week or two. So
that's awesome.
Send us as many updates as you can, tag us in as many pictures as you can. Yeah, all massively appreciated. And stay frosty.
Stay frosty. Brilliant. Now, thanks, guys. Well, like I said, next week's our 100th episode. So do join us all the way. We'll be in Morocco, me and Dave. So, it's going to be a great one. So, we'll drop you some information about that. And we'll catch you next week. But in the interim, have an amazing week, whatever you're up to. Maybe out in the mountains, doing some training. If you are going on your trip, have an amazing time, as Dave said.
Yep.
Don't forget to tag us, which is, I think, we might even have some graphics with this. We've actually become.
So we gone high tech now.
Usually we do comment. Here we go. This is it. Look at this. Tag us in your stories. There we go. I actually got it. I got it organised. That was smooth, wasn't it? Do tag us in your stories.
We need a producer.
We do need a producer.
Someone that sits there and does all the buttons for us.
This is kind of budget producing, but do tag us at Evertrek UK. Just so we can share our stories. It's great, especially if you're on Instagram or Facebook. We'd love to see what you're up to, and have an amazing week.
Take it easy.
See you guys.